Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades in the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of the social media accounts. Also, I did finish the week with 17 wins, 3 losses for a win rate of 85%. My goal is 85% every week, and I just made that dead on. So even though I did have a good week, there was a lot of crazy actions this week. So it was definitely a tough week of trading. The market did a lot of fake outs and bad news that popped and good news that dropped kind of scenarios. So it was a definitely a tough week, considering that even though I'd had good stats, it was definitely a tough week. But anyways, trade ideas room. I said on the 9th, SPY puts under 389 and BABA puts under 112. And I took, let's see, SPY calls at 9:45. So I said what? Puts on 9:16. So we get to 9:16 up. Where are you? 19. I don't know why I said 9:16. As you can see right here, we had the run up on Friday. It stayed elevated through Monday overnight and Monday morning, and so I was looking for puts under here. It had a nice red candle, and it didn't break below the first 10-minute candle or the level I had for 389, which is right here, rounded down. It was pretty close to 389, rounded down to this low right here. I could have gone with that low right there, but that was like 4 o'clock in the morning, but I could have used that either way. So I used that when I had the red candle here and it didn't drop below and it popped back up. I took the higher day. I switched to 39.30 calls at 8.50 and they went from 8.50 to 11.90 and that popped right there. So got a nice little play out of that. I was not quite expecting that to happen. I was expecting it to pull back because after this run, but it's just the way it is. Then I took calls again at 11.06. which is right here. I don't know why I didn't take it here. I probably took it in the Challenger IRA. Actually, Challenger was put, so I probably took it in the IRA. I don't know. That's the downfall of having other challenge counts. I don't really know why when I took those plays, because I only cover the option alerts that I do. I don't cover all the accounts. I only cover this particular account. So I took it at 11.06, which is right here. As you can see, it popped up, pulled back, and I took it again right when it broke higher day. I took the 39.50 calls at 670, and it went from 670 to $9, and that little pop right there ended up being a fake out. Then I switched to puts at 12.38, which is right here. As you can see, it's got a rounded top. It broke out, ended up being a fake out. Tried to break out again, faked out. Then when it came below the I didn't grab it right here. I should have, but I grabbed it right here, right underneath this 392.50 area. That's where I grabbed the 39.30 puts at 6.30, and it went from 6.30 to 7.50. Not much of a drop. I mean, if I remember correctly, this might have been the day where one of the days this past week that puts were just not moving. The price was moving, but the actual premiums weren't. It was kind of bizarre, but I think it might have been this day. I'm not sure. Then I switched to calls at 122, which is right here. I can see why I grabbed it here. It bounced off VWAP, it flushed underneath it, and it came quickly back through. It got bought up really, really quickly, so I thought for sure when it pushed through VWAP, it was going to pop, and it didn't. It ended up dropping, and I just ended up stopping out. And I had it the 39.35 calls at 8.30, and I got out at 4. But I thought I was gonna pop because it just held VWAP, flushed through it, and came back through it again really, really fast. Usually when it dumps and rebounds fast, it usually ends up continuing, but it just didn't. It just was a fake out, and then it just dumped here. Then I did switch to I still had calls. The next play was calls at 310, which was right here. 310. Yeah, right here I grabbed 3,900 calls at $7. I'm not sure. Let me check. Let's see where ES was on that day. On the 9th. Let's see. Is this the 9th? No, right here. It was close to 3,900. It wasn't. Maybe SPX was 3,900 on that day. Just trying to see what I did. Yeah, it was SPX was at 3,900. That's what I did. I knew I did that at some point this week. I just couldn't remember what day it was, but yeah. I grabbed calls right 3,900 calls right near 3,900, right in here, and I had them at $7, and it dropped more. And I did average down. I added more at $4, making my average at $4.75, and it did pop right here. As you can see, at the 200 EMA, it bounced. I think it went up to the 389. So we got a little bit of a bounce. And then it went from 475 to 650. So not a bad day. Just got faked out. Now on the 10th pre-market, I said, let's see, trying to see what I said. SPY puts into 386. 386 right here, pre-market low. Sorry for yawning. And first candle was green. I took puts at 947, right when it 947. I'm trying to see where I took it exactly. I might have to go into a fourth day. No, I don't look at the 1 minute. Is this it? The 10th? Yeah. Okay, I took it at what? 947, which is right here. Yeah, right here. I took it at 950. I took the 38.75 puts at 950. It popped up, then it finally dropped right there, and I was able to get out. And it went from 950 to 1040 right there. So it was a nice little play on that, even though it was kind of a fake out. As you can see in the morning, this is you see it had a green candle, faked the drop. It actually did drop a little bit on the next candle, so I was able to get out. Then it popped and dropped more than it popped. This was a very, very violent day. I think this was the day that Powell was talking in the morning, and the candle swings were just really, really crazy. I did take calls at 1019, which is right here. Now we got this area of let's say 388.80, we'll say. When it got over this area, this is where I grabbed the calls. I grabbed them at it says I grabbed them at 1019. I didn't grab it. Yeah, 1019. I must have grabbed it. Gotta go down to a smaller time frame because these candles are just so crazy. Grabbed it at 1019. Is this it right here? No, it's the 11th. 1019. I grabbed it when it pulled back. Then 1117. Right here is where I end up adding. No, 1114. I am not going to be able to tell on that. Okay, see what I did here. I didn't buy up here. I bought on the pullback. I do remember doing this, buying on the pullback, because I didn't want to chase and it just dumped, and I ended up holding it because the swings have been so crazy that I ended up holding it. I added at 1114, which is right here. The dump came back up. I grabbed right there. I added more at 440, making my new average 540. And then it dumped right here, and I ended up stopping out at 245. So yeah, I probably should have held that, but it is what it is. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen, and the morning has been so violent. I mean, look at these candles. I mean, that's from 388. They're like $1.50, $2 moves per 10-minute candle, and then just swings are just crazy. And I didn't want to chase both sides. In fact, I even said that I was just going to stay on one side, and if it worked, it worked. It didn't. I wasn't chasing both sides, and that's how you take massive losses on days like this. And then it finally popped. I mean, I definitely could have got out green, but it is what it is. So at 245, I took puts, which is right at high at 245, right here. No, rejected higher day right here. 245 is right here. You get to see these little bunch of candles right here. I'll blow it up more. Rejected higher day, and you got like this candle, this candle, this candle. When it broke below this 389.65 area, that's where I grabbed the 39.10 puts. And they went from, let's see, $5.20 to $10 in that drop right there. Then I switched to calls at 350, which is right here. Same thing, you get these candles right here, and plus the market has been popping the last 10 minutes of the day almost all week, except one time. I think this week it didn't do that, but yeah, it ended up popping. So when I got over this, you can see right here, it dropped down, came back up. It made like a little flat line right here at like 389.80. Once I get over that, that's where I grabbed the 39.10 calls at $4, and they went from $4 to $10.20. So it's 150% move on that end of the day pop. They've been doing that the last 10 minutes. They've just been grinding and just ripping it the last 10 minutes and taking people off guard. So now on the 11th, which is Wednesday, Trade Ideas Room, SPY puts under 391, sorry, which is down here. This pivot right here, as you can see, it's resistance and support right here. And that's what I had for the number, and it didn't. It's had a nice green candle right at open. I didn't take the calls right there. I thought about it. I did take puts at 954, which is right here when it came back down. And I took the 39.30 puts at 880. And they went from 880 to $11 in that place. So then I ended up taking calls at 1122, which is right here. No, right here. It starts to grind up. You see, this was crazy action right here, because you had a big green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle, green candle. Then it finally actually made two green candles in a row, and they went back and forth all day long. It was crazy. Then when it got over the 392.50 area, that's where I did grab the 39.40 calls at 39.40 calls at 8.30, and they went from 8.30 to 9.70. Then it took calls again at 12.10 right here when it broke high a day. I took the 39.45 calls at 7.50. They went from 7.50 to 10.90 in that push right there. I mean, this was crazy action. This happened a lot this week, just having these massive swings back and forth. And I remember getting caught in this candle right here, but I'll get to that in a second. In fact, that's next. So yeah, we caught the breakout when it broke high a day, grabbed that. Then there was news. I don't remember what it was. I think it was about Biden's documents or Biden's being probed or something like that. I don't quite remember. I think it was something along those lines. So when the news broke, I took the puts at 39.45 at 7.50. I took it, I think, down here, and they went green, and they went against me. Then it started to look like they were going to come back. Then they just went nothing, and they ended up just not working out. So didn't have much into it. I mean, I didn't get filled that much because it was a news event, and I don't really play news events that heavy because I've gotten burned so many times with chasing news events that it's just not worth it. So the next play, I took calls at 350, same thing. Got this higher day of 394.88 or 90, we'll just say. Pull back, and this is what they've been doing. They've been pulling back like the last half an hour, then ripping it the last 10 minutes. So they pulled it back, came back up to near a higher day. And that's where I grabbed the 39.60 calls at 290, and they went from 290 to $10, 200% move right there. Same thing as this right here. They just raised it the last 10-minute candle, and that ended up being a really good play. And this was a crazy day on Thursday, no, Friday. No, yeah, this is not Friday. This is Thursday the 12th. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I took 3 plays. Trade ideas room. I said SPY puts under 394, which is right 394. Which day is this? The 13th. 394. Why did I take 394? Right here. This is right there, right on the bodies of these candles right here. This was the something news, CPI, I think. Yeah, CPI news. It dumped, it popped, and it dumped. Right at the open, first 10-minute candle was red. And usually when the first 10-minute candle is red, I look for continuation. That's why I usually look for puts. And if it's a green candle, I look for calls most of the time, not unless there's another factor I'm looking at. But anyways, I took 39.30 puts at the next 10-minute candle, new lower day. I took it at the 39.30 puts at 8.10. And they went from 8.10 to 14.60. So that ended up being a nice little play. Then I took calls at 10.19, which is right here. When it dumped and it came right back up to higher day. I took the 4,000 calls at 6.50, and it dropped. Then I ended up averaging down at what, 12.11. So yeah, I had 4,000 calls right here. I held on to it. I mean, look at these massive swings. I held on to it. It chopped a little bit. Then when it came back up here to the higher day again, I added more at 340, making my average 445, and then went from 445 to 640. Then I grabbed puts at 125, which is right here. We had this big red candle. I don't quite remember what that candle was, why it was there. Maybe that was the probe for Biden. Yeah, that might have been it right here. This was CPI. This must have been the Biden probe that they talked about in the documents he had or whatever. So when that dropped, I grabbed the 39.90 puts at 125. I grabbed it at 1:25 p.m., but they were actually at $7.20. And they went from 720 to, where did I grab them? Let's see exactly where I grabbed them. I thought I grabbed them. Let's see, I grabbed them at 125. Let's see where this drop I grabbed at 125. Right there. I grabbed it right when it broke below. Yeah, right when it broke below the 397.50. That's where I grabbed them. So they went from 720 to 22.90. That was a 200% play. If you held all the way through, yeah, I got it right when it broke right here. I don't look at the 1-minute candles or the 5-minute. I only look at the 10-minute and the hourly. That's it. To me, it's too much noise. I prefer the 10-minute candle. So yeah, that went from 720 to 22.90 in that dump right there. So that ended up being a good play. And then it just rebounded. That's just, the action this week has just been crazy. It dumps, it rebounds. It just, and on Friday we had bad earnings for banks, and just dumped and it rebounded, made new high. It's just, this whole week it's just been crazy. So yeah, Friday was Friday the 13th. It had SPY puts under 392.50 in the trade ideas room, which is down here. Because we're already at lower day pre-market, I used the previous day's low. And the first candle was green. Didn't take it. I didn't take it. I don't know why I didn't take calls. I should have taken calls. I just think that I was looking at it from the point of view that VIX was really, really, really low. Bad bank earnings. That the first, it was just going to pop a little bit of open, then actually dump. So I just had the wrong idea based primarily off VIX being so low. So it is what it is. So, but I did grab puts at 10.50, which is right here, right before PDC. This is this white line right here, previous day's close. I grabbed it a little early, grabbed the 39.75 puts at 850, and then went from 850 to 14 on that dump right there. Then I took calls at 12.16, which is right in this candle right here, as you can see. Didn't quite get to PDC. It dropped, held over VWAP and 20 EMA. Then when it got over this 396.10 area, that's where I grabbed the calls, the 39.80 calls at 620, and they went from 620 to 780. Then it finally touched PDC, and because I knew that was one of the things I was looking at, was that I was looking for a PDC rejection, because we had this huge drop from bank earnings, and we had this huge run up. I figured we get to PDC, we're going to reject. It didn't quite get there. Sometimes it likes to undershoot and overshoot areas, and this particular area it undershot, so it pulled back. Like, we got that play, then we got this play right here. And I think I did get this play in my challenge account right here. Then it just ripped right through there. So, yeah, that's going to do it for the recap. I know they didn't trade that much this week, but like I said, this week was just very, very weird and abnormal. Just the candles were just back and forth, large candles, and VIX being very, very low, and bad earnings ended up just raging higher. It's been a crazy, crazy week. So, I mean, this could be the new normal for 2023. I mean, we could have a really wild, volatile, fake out kind of year. So, this could be the new normal. So just be prepared. So, yeah, that's going to do it for the recap, and hope this has helped you understand why I took the plays I did and where. And thanks for watching.